Hi, this is Mary from the Daily Sew. Backpacks don't last forever. Zippers and buckles can break and seams can rip, but you can repair all that easily, and that's what I'm going to show you. So if you're ready to repair your pack, let's go. So this is a friend's well-used backpack. It has a hole here where the pocket is sewn and the zipper has become separated. This zipper works, but if I was replacing it, I would copy how it was originally attached. This zipper was glued with a few stitches at the ends. Glue is more waterproof than stitches, and because I know that this pack goes hiking, it needs to stay waterproof. We need a flexible glue to reattach the zipper or to put in a new zipper. It's very important that it's a flexible glue. Somebody on a forum recommended a shoe glue, but many more folks highly recommended this particular sealant, which is waterproof and made for outdoor fabrics like nylon, which this backpack is. And this is also important because not every glue works with every type of material. In fact, super glue does not do well on nylon, so pay attention to the details when choosing the glue. For the tear on the pocket, and this works with any tear anywhere, I will try these adhesive patches made just for patching nylon. I picked clear because it's a yellow pack, and basically the choices were black, white, or clear. I think this patch is going to be the easiest fix I have to do, so you know what I always say, let's start with the easy things first. So clean the area around the rip with rubbing alcohol and put a towel under the rip so the bag will keep its shape when you apply the patch. Next, you want to cut the patch so it's about a 1/2 inch or 1 centimeter larger on all 4 sides of the rip. You want to round off the corners so that they stay down better. This rip is in an awkward location, but luckily the patch is repositionable until you really smash it down. If I were to redo this, I would not trim the patch down more as I did in this video. In the end, the patch did stick, but having that extra width of the patch would give the patch more to adhere to. I cut it to fit better in that awkward ditch, so keep your patch as wide as you can. You really have to muscle this patch into place and then let it sit for about 24 hours, and it will build a stronger bond over that time. When gluing, it's always a good idea to mask off the area next to where the glue is going with tape, just in case the glue seeps out, and then the extra glue would be on the tape and not on the thing you're gluing. Just take the tape off sooner rather than later. The nylon fabric has stretched out of shape a bit, and that makes sense because when the zipper was closed and opened, it pulled on the fabric, and over time the fabric became stretched, and that also would explain why the original adhesive broke its seal. Regluing the two uneven sides to each other is going to be a little tricky because, of course, they're uneven. There's a little more yellow fabric than zipper, but we can do it. Again, clean the area with rubbing alcohol so the glue can penetrate the fibers and form a tight seal. I'm applying the glue to the zipper because it's sturdier than the nylon fabric, and I want to spread the glue evenly and use as little as I can get away with. Then, because the yellow nylon is now longer than the zipper, I have to fiddle with the position. It was smart to do only one side of the zipper at a time, but smarter still would be to only do half a side at a time. Once okay with the position, it needs to lay flat and cure for 12 hours. I have some clips to hold everything in place while it dries. You could also use chip clips, clothespins, binder clips, and maybe even large paper clips. Okay, it's been 12 hours and the first side is dry, but it is a little bit tacky. You can see it seep through the fabric, and I don't think that could be helped, which is why you want to use as little glue as you can get away with. So, learning from the first side what not to do, I position the fabric over the zipper even before I apply any glue, and I'm going to hold it with clips and distribute the excess fabric as equally as I can along the length of the zipper. Then, I'm going to glue down just a few inches at a time. Much easier. The glue has dried, and unfortunately it is visible, but it is attached, and that's good. However, it is a little hard to move this zipper up and down, and that puts a real strain on the fabric and the seal that the glue made. Some zipper lubricant will help. You use it like a color crown. You apply it to the teeth, and then you work it in by closing and opening the zipper a few times. So much better. The patch is really stuck to the pack. I was afraid it was going to lift itself away down here where the bulky seam disrupts that flat surface, so I did add a drop of sealant there for added security. So this day pack is in great condition except for one of the plastic buckles is broken. This is easy. I'm just going to remove and replace the buckle. This is totally my kind of repair because it involves sewing, not gluing, and I'm better at sewing. So give the strap a good look over to see what you're dealing with. The ends of the yellow webbing are tucked up into the gray strap and then it's all sewn together. So first I need to remove these stitches, then replace the buckle, and I'm going to finish by sewing it all back together. And so that I never have to do this repair again, I'm going to replace that plastic buckle with a metal buckle, and I'm going to replace both buckles so that they match and it looks intentional. Before removing the buckle though, it's a good idea to measure how much webbing is showing, and then you can replicate the original design when you're resetting the strap. Then it's just a matter of patiently removing the stitches that hold that webbing in. Of course, you want to orient the new buckle correctly on the strap, so before removing the old buckle, take a good look and place the new buckle in the same direction. Then insert the webbing and check the length. Hold it in place until you get to the sewing machine and repeat with the other strap. Sew the strap back together following the holes that were left from the original stitches. Use a narrow presser foot if you don't have enough room between the buckle and where you need to sew. My standard presser foot barely fits. When the fabric becomes too bulky to sew through easily, you're going to want to stop and slowly turn the hand wheel on your sewing machine, and you always turn it toward you. And this way you can stitch through the bulky layers, basically one stitch at a time, nice and easy. You may have to manually move and reposition the strap under the needle a few times, especially when you're sewing through many layers. And the best needle for nylon is a microtex needle, but you can get away with a universal needle. So this is a dog treat bag. It's designed with multiple separate pockets for holding treats and other dog training things. There's a hole near the seam between two pockets, and the fabric ripped at the seam and it frayed like nylon likes to do, and it's now a good size hole. I'll turn it inside out so you can see it better. The hole is widest at the top where the seam curves, and pulling the fabric over to the seam and attaching it there isn't ideal because to cover that large gap, the fabric would be pulled tight, and when you're reaching your hand in and out with a fistful of treats, you need a roomy pocket, not a tight one. Plus, nylon loves to fray, and if you sew that frayed edge down as it is, the stitches loosen the weave of the fabric and it's just going to continue to fray. So my original idea was to patch the hole with fabric like so. The edges of the patch would need to be finished so the patch wouldn't fray, but twill tape has woven long edges that don't fray, and a sealant could be used on the short ends of the tape to keep them from fraying. Then I read about this patch tape for repairing nylon gear like backpacks, tents, and puffy coats, and it seems perfect. Simply tape over the hole, and in this case on both sides to sandwich the hole. No fraying, no sewing, no gluing. Yes, please. Okay, it's easy to apply the tape, but it's not sticking. I think I need to soak and wash the bag instead of only wiping the surface clean. Okay, you know how I had that brilliant idea of using the repair tape, the patch tape, on the inside of the dog treat bag? That tape is made for nylon surfaces, and that bag is made from nylon, just like a backpack or a puppy coat or a tent. So technically, that tape should have worked on that seam that was ripped. It didn't stick. And that's because the oils from the dog treats that have been in that pocket for I don't know how long really penetrated that fabric, and it just loosens the adhesive. It acts as a solvent. So the patch would not stick to that fabric. So I thought, I'm going to wash the bag and then I'm going to do it again because that'll take care of it. But then it occurred to me that, oh, the dog treats that are going to go in after this bag is fixed and patched, the oils from those dog treats and future dog treats are going to soak into the fabric again like before and act as a solvent, and the patch will peel off and be of no use. The hole will still be there. So I'm going to go back to my original idea of actually sewing a patch onto this ripped seam. Back to the original idea of a patch using twill tape. I'm going to cut the tape longer than the hole and start pinning in the center working out because it's easier to trim a long patch and it's a pain to cut a second one because the first one was too short. especially with the curve at the top. I might need some extra length. This is too tight of an area for sewing machine to reach, so I'm going to sew this on by hand using a back stitch. The back stitch is a great stitch for repairs, and I have a video about the back stitch. Apply sealant like fray check to the cut ends of the twill tape and the frayed edge of the rip as well. This is going to prevent further fraying of the hole. You could use any clear drying glue for this. Pin the patch down to cover the hole and be sure it's not too tightly stretched. And here it is on the other side. Cover the hole on the back side with the second patch in the same way as the first patch, basically sandwiching the hole to prevent it from further fraying, or at least slow down the fraying. I'm using a single strand of all-purpose thread. There's no need to use thick thread or double strands with the back stitch on this thin fabric. As a general rule, you want to match your thread thickness to the weight of your fabric. And there's the hole, all patched up and protected. So we reattached the zipper and patched the hole. On the gray backpack, it needed a buckle, but we replaced them both to match and with metal buckles so we never have to replace them again. You do want to make sure you get the right size buckle to fit the width of the pack's webbing or strap. Then there is the dog treat bag, also made from outdoor gear nylon, with a hole between the pockets that I tried to patch with tape, but ended up with sewing a pair of patches that sandwiched the hole. So a rip, a zipper, a buckle, and a hole. All things that can happen to your backpack and all things that you can repair yourself to get a few more years' use out of your gear. Hope this video has helped you with a clear solution or at least a place to start when it comes to repairing your backpack. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below and I'll be sure to reply. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.